What's poppin', everyone? It's your boy Levi. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are having a better time than I am. I'm currently wet. I have water on my pants and I didn't have time to change, so just have a giant water stain on my leg as we start the stream. Great start for me. I unfortunately almost ran into my cat while walking to my desk and spilt water all over it. What are we doing today? Today we are going to be looking at Superior's gameplay. Superior is currently rank 1 NA, was rank 1 previous season, with not really much competition for it. I think he was like 500 LP ahead of the next person. And he's now playing SUA again, so we're going to look at him. I held off. He was initially going to be my first episode, but he was playing on Inferior 1 at the start of the season, playing Emma. And as good as he is, I felt like SUA really shows off his skill more than Emma does. So we are going to be looking at 3 games from him. Build code is on screen as well as pinned in the chat if you'd like to try out his SUA build. On brand for the SUA skin. Yeah, I'm actually just in my beach cosplay. I don't know if you can hear my cat, actually. It's meowing at my door. So, start off in Uptown for this build, and I think the big thing is that since he has a favorable spawn for Uptown, it's just like paying attention to where he is. And it's going to be like, SUA E doesn't go through walls, but it's a very long dash. You want to make sure you're using it in like the longest parts of hallways rather than just like hitting 2 inches in front of you. Make the use of it. My one gripe with SUA is that you have to 5 zone. Yeah, I believe this build is 5 zone as well. I wonder why he's building SUA. So much variety. Right there, he had the left side spawn in hospital, so he's electing to walk into factory much quicker than walking all the way to the hyperloop in hospital, TPing down to factory, and just taking this right side. This all feels self-explanatory, I'm sure. We do have some SUA experts in the chat, but just want to point it out. Once again, he's also crafting when his inventory is full. We see the boots rush so that he's faster, and that If his dash is down, he's also crafting. Going to drop off the bread for inventory space as well. And if you look at his build, you'll see he has a lot of SP, or prep for SP. I know Superior doesn't run Spirit Culling for his build, which if you're probably new to SUA, maybe you want to try running it. It'll help out if you don't like building SP drinks. I know Superior likes to build a ton of SP on his routes. Notice how, because Temple's our final zone, we didn't take this distribution over here. We walked down to this one that's much closer, and this is going to give him a quicker path up into Temple, knowing that he doesn't need too many items. He doesn't need a full distribution in Temple. And he's grabbing flowers now too. Hi Lunada, how's it going? He's grabbing flowers now, and he could have grabbed those in Uptown. That was the other flower zone, but notice how he doesn't need them for his build in Uptown, so he waits all the way until basically he's completed the full build to grab them. I hate having to make a bunch of SP drinks. Yeah, I play SUA on occasion, not very often, but I run without the Spirit Culling build, and I'm thinking about changing to the Spirit Culling build. Yeah, that's the thing, is that Spirit Culling really carries you through like the early and mid parts of the game, but come late game, it doesn't really do much.
One less inconvenience for you.
So we are going to see him in Temple, and as we know, SUA loves to contest Temple Tree. Calls in the Rusty Sword for his accessory. And he has a year in time for tree. He's got 20 seconds until this tree spawns, able to scout out the location. He's going to make sure he's checking to see what kind of matchups he might have at this tree fight. He's also got the Evening Star prepped. Checking to make sure this Kathy's not hiding around. Yeah, I can imagine. SUA gets weapon pretty late too. Peels off the tree, knows that he only really has to be careful of the suture stunning him against the wall. Gonna eat early to avoid it. And that's basically what happens when you hit all your skill shots on SUA. She has been nerfed quite a bit now. You do have to hit your skill shots to get a kill. I think the formula is basically like, if you land Q and get the stun, you're pretty much favored to win that. If you hit part of Q, it's a little bit harder, but you can still go for it. And then if you miss Q, you probably should reset, unless you can E in. I really liked how he E'd in there to stop the ground and stop the suture. Both of those abilities affect the E of SUA. And you E first, it basically nullifies two of Kathy's abilities. So we're going to see Horus come out, I imagine, with the tree. I want to note right here, too, when he's farming the bears, he kind of pulls them both together with the Q. Not pulls them with the Q, but like aggroes them both and then walks them together so that the splash damage of his passive autos hit both. It saves a little bit of time. Temple Tree instant gold accessory is my guess. Oh, just you wait. We'll talk about that in game 2. TP's alley. Yeah, there's Horus. And we're also going to see SUA take the attack battle zone. I imagine the attack battle zone is a little bit better than like the movement speed battle zone, simply because she doesn't really need the gap close or the cooldown refresh. I think it's much easier to just like one tap someone with the bonus damage. Just hit W on him when he E's in. I know how much you love Yuki, Jinx. I think it's important to note here also that Superior has chosen this bottom drone instead of this top one up here, simply because this is a narrower corridor. It's much easier for SUA to fight in. It's harder for opponents to dodge spells. Good dodge on the ult. I also want to take note of when the hammer skill comes out for SUA. Basically, whenever he hits the EQ, if he gets the knockup or not, basically hammer skill is the first thing that follows up. It's pretty much a confirm. There's only like a few characters that can get out of it, especially if they choose not to get out of the EQ for whatever reason. It's kind of just bullying at this point. Surprised not to see Adela at Alpha, actually.
Check if there's any alcohol. Check if there's any alcohol.
Don't hate Yuki as SUA, he's simple, that's fair. Gonna pick up the kill on this Adela, it looks like. I don't think that's gonna save her. Just 1 Q away. Oh, there it is.
This is nice.
Yeah, it seems like SUA has a lot of ways to cancel Adela. I know the E slightly makes you invulnerable, I think on... not on cast, but like on travel. We'll see the fight with the Ekion though. I imagine this is similar to the Yuki, kind of just use your thing to blind. Don't really have too much to CC immune. That's gonna be 4 kills already. So really strong start. 4 kills coming out of the battle zone. 3 of them were from the battle zone, but gives you unstoppable at the start before you move. Okay, thank you. Also gonna take the wolves, picks up the meteorite. That's probably gonna be for Evening Star. I think that's what that hammer is called. Could be wrong. It might be Morning Star. I think it's Evening Star though. And because this battle zone did run a little bit late, we probably won't see him clear out most of the hunts here, unfortunately. He is going to have to leave the zone in 10 seconds. It is Evening Star? Thank you. I guess I could hover over it and see, but... So we're in the hospital now. I imagine we're trying to get Tree. He is a little bit slow, hence the zone being... or the battle zone going a bit long. Leon looks like he's just going to run through red to get out. Yeah, so a little unfortunate, a little too slow. I like that he went straight there instead of crafting the Evening Star, because he wanted to at least threaten the presence for a tree, and then he probably could have crafted Evening Star while the Leon was trying to take it, because he would have peeled off.
One less inconvenience for you.
He can't just sit on the tree because of the Q. SUA versus Leon is SUA favored. That makes sense. Eventually, at some point, SUA matchups become, does she land her abilities? Yes, then you're probably dead, regardless of who you are. Unless you have like a way of getting out. Day 2 winding down, we're coming to Omega, or we're coming to Chapel for Omega. So there's a Theodore in this game. Amp Drone Theodore in this game. Interesting. So because we won the first battle zone, we're opting to take Omega. We have 2 transitions here. So we're at a decent pace. And we're much ahead of the lobby because he got 3 kills in the battle zone. No reason not really to go to Omega. I imagine he might have to fight for it. Always chaining hunts together too. Her issue is that she's built around Omni-Safe and extended fights in the game with it, where healing reduction gets loony. Yeah, healing reduction feels so odd. It doesn't feel like a situational. It just kind of feels like you either have it or you don't. Like some characters build it on route and just have it. Some characters don't. It's not a very situational spell. So we have Piolo here. Would have seen him on the day radar scan. Opts to pull off of it. Piolo's gonna stack his whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. He's in. There's the knockup again. Instant hammer skill. Q goes a little bit wide. And he's so accurate with his spells. I think that's the biggest thing that I want to point out too, is that even when Superior misses with E, he's either forcing his enemy to dodge it with a spell or they're getting hit by it. And I think he's always putting himself in range where he can like ER for the second E or just hit the E. Now we have Camilo and Adela here. Yeah, he's got very good skill shot accuracy. Gonna reset Omega again. There's the Night Fork from Adela. She might have to leave after that. Kind of just threw it out. Yeah, she's gonna pull away. See how he plays this. Good dodge on the Camilo's half. They're even in weapon mastery too. Is playing it slow, trying not to walk up too close. I think he's trying to catch Camilo on a dash. Also holding the E. There it is. Is gonna go wide and immediately R's away. So good patience. Not gonna opt to take in a fight where he missed that widely. Gonna wait for the reset. Seems to be looking for the W from Camilo to blind. Good spacing there to kind of like put the Camilo in between Omega. It's gonna be a little bit of a close fight too. It was a bit closer than I think it could have been, but good spacing, I'd say. Putting the Camilo in between him and Omega so that he took the Omega damage. This will be an Omega for him, but he's kind of not going to be in time for a Wick now. Only 10 seconds. No, Camilo R is so troll for a fight. I saw what he was trying to do. I think he was trying to get the heal off Omega, but... And this should be blood, I think, with how much credits he has. Yeah, and there's blood. A lot of the fights with SUA in the late game are about kind of how much you can overwhelm your opponent with how sticky you are in hitting skill shots. Notice how he's also holding Cabana. Isn't putting that on yet because of how much he values the cooldown reduction cap of Priest Robe. Okay, I couldn't remember what this item was called. High Priest Robe. We're probably going to see Taproots come out with the blood, or I would imagine, and then see the Cabana go on so he can retain that CDR cap. Yeah, CDR and SUA are very well. Scale very well together. Isn't going to get Wick though. Omega did run a bit late. Yeah, and there's Taproots and Cabana. Just gonna opt for the cemetery hunts instead. Gonna try and keep the mastery up. He's got pretty good food. He's got the Shukai baked potatoes. Some of the best food in the game. Yeah, I think you'll see him try to either go Queen of Hearts or Taproots most of the time. I don't think you'll see Prominence over Timepiece much. Yeah, Taproots give 10% CDR cap. They're actually better than High Priest Robe. Hang at the beach here. We're gonna see a fight with Ekion again. Yeah, it's 10%. It's so much. Taproots are low-key pretty good. It's just, but there's like a lot of good shoe options. Yeah, I think if he didn't have Cabana, he would have gone Queen of Hearts. So I like how he's being really careful here in Beach, opting not to take a fight with that Ekion if he doesn't have to. Sorry, just staying away from everyone. Doesn't want to get third party. Know that the Leon has Wick, so he doesn't want to accidentally run into him. Yeah, just kind of staying away from everybody. He would have saw them on day radar scan, so we're probably gonna get a TP here. Yeah, we're gonna head into school. There's a gold box here in school, and I think Superior figures he's probably the strongest in the lobby with 6 kills. I know the Leon has Wick, but if it came down to a 1v1, it'd probably be pretty close, I would imagine. Probably doesn't want to take that fight necessarily, but if he's forced into it, I don't think it's like a free kill for Leon. Especially if he can blind the shield autos from Leon. He's gonna pick up cams, so we'll see anyone in the area. Bianca's in Avenue. We'll have to either walk into school or TP away. And it's just about taking more hunts too. Just get some extra credits. Eventually these will probably get called in for more traps. If you've played against Superior, you know how much he loves his double guillotines. Sees Leon on the radar, and Bianca actually TPs into school, so they're all here. I think even though, yeah, he doesn't want to fight the Leon if he doesn't have to. I don't think he can see the Bianca is here. I think he just kind of knows Bianca's in the area. Maybe he saw the ping from when she TP'd in. Have I seen the map changes in the dev journals? Yeah, I'm super excited for them. I talked about them a bit on my community tab. There's a hammer skill again. Not trying to force anything. I don't think he really wants to fight this Leon. He was kind of looking for the gate exit. There comes Bianca. Probably hears it. Unfortunately, this Bianca's gonna get politicked because the Leon had a lucky dodge away. That's so unfortunate that Bianca dies here and not Leon.
What a general.
Well, that'll be Morello, and probably change out Horus for Morello, I would imagine. And has some guillotines now. Seven kills, definitely the strongest now with Wick timing down. Surprised this Theodore is still alive, actually. Yeah, that's that's so little damage. Not even phased by this Theodore. Yeah, Tolarian's got the vigor on it. I think it was you, Jinx, I was saying that you don't really like vigor too much on SUA, or Tolarian. Also, that was a really good play. I'm gonna go back real quick. Hopefully this doesn't break. It did break. Okay. We're gonna skip to this part. I've been having troubles with replays today. They've been breaking on me, but I really do want to make a note of what just happened there. Give me a second while I bring this replay back up. I love how on certain patches replays just break all the time when you try to scroll through the time on it. It's my favorite part. You like your full amp? Yeah, I thought it was you. 1825? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I can't really skip to it, unfortunately, but we will 3 times speed until we get back. It's gonna be one of those days where you can't select times in replays without disconnecting. I thought they had fixed this bug, but I guess not. I actually didn't realize it, but Horus also gives attack speed. I didn't realize that item gave attack speed. I thought it was just amp and had biotic fusion on it. CDR effects on weapon skill too? No. Thank God. Thank God it doesn't. Especially for things like bow skill. Pistol skill. Hammer skill is one of the least oppressive ones if there was CDR on it. Okay, I should still be able to pause. I just can't, like, rewind. It might take a little bit to get there. I apologize. Until we get there, though, we can talk about the new map changes. What are your guys' thoughts about them? I really like how they're opening up the map a lot. I think it's going to force players to play around vision more, corner check more. Personally, I don't see the point in Sports Watch because you already get so much attack speed out of Retreat. Sports Watch has Vigor on it too, I think, right? Yeah, it's probably for the Vigor. Actually, what are the stats on this thing? SUA's melee, so 10 plus 17% skill amp. I think that's probably pretty good. And you gain 10% attack speed. That's fair. If it works out for you, then I suggest doing what your preference is more than like what's considered right. I'm always a bigger fan of like playing for you rather than playing how like a guide tells you to play per se. I think it's really important to find like what works for you as a player. I'm surprised he wants a sword accessory, no heal reduction. He probably just wants the amp for like a straight fight at tree, I would imagine. Considering he always goes tree and he usually gets Horus. Also, the sword has attack speed on it too, I think. Which also I didn't realize. There's just a lot of items, a lot of amp items with attack speed on it.
One bad move and you might get caught. One less inconvenience for you. Check if there's any alcohol. Check if there's any alcohol.
Alright, we're almost back. The sword? I think it's amp and attack speed. I don't know what it's called. What is this item called? Yeah, it's 37 amp and 15% attack speed. It's pretty good. I remember when it used to be AP and attack speed, though. It's a really good hedging item. It probably still is a good hedging item, but that's who I thought of first when I think of that item. There's the Camilla fight, we saw that. And I believe it's after he farms Cemetery and Beach. We'll be back. Yeah, I don't really know what other options you'd have for healing reduction other than like White Crane. I'm assuming that's what you build. I don't think any of the heads have healing reduction on them, so I imagine White Crane's probably the choice. Yeah, SUA might also be able to get away with like just being strong enough if you land everything to not build heal reduction. Just Rockers. Rockers is in such an odd place currently. I see that item on like 2 characters, and that's it. Yeah, I'm assuming if Superior didn't have the Cabana, we would have saw that Blood Call go to Queen of Hearts there. Okay, almost back here. Sorry for the rough start there. We love how ER loves to break. Here's the Bianca getting politicked. Probably also because she didn't have ult, but Leon was kind of just too far away. Okay. So I think what happens here is that Superior is gonna kind of like check this right side area, and I think he's gonna see the bear pings in beach. There's a ping right there. So he knows there's one person in beach. He knows it's not Theodore because he's getting poked by Theodore, and he knows it's probably not Leon because they were just fighting over there in school. So he knows this is Ekion, and with 6 seconds left, it's kind of unlikely that Ekion's gonna like go in over the wall. So he's gonna set this guillotine down here. And like what I really like about this guillotine is that it blocks the path up this way. And for SUA, let's say this fight goes wrong, right? If she's like over here engaging on this trap, or if the trap's like right here, either one, like Ekion has a pretty good chase after SUA if she tries to dash this way. If she goes back up this way, it gives her like the long hallway to escape. What Superior does here that I think is intentional is that because the trap is on like this side, he's gonna stand over here and kind of like force the Ekion to escape this way into the trap. And I think that's a really smart play. You're kind of just saving a trap that way, not having to use 2 to block off this exit. And you're kind of just like forcing your opponent into the direction that you want so you can be prepared to throw out a skill shot on the trap. Also, hi Superior. I didn't know you were here. That's kind of funny. Feel free to let me know like what your thought process is if you can remember any of these games. If not, it's okay. We're just trying to figure out like what you're going through. This is the first time I've had someone that I'm talking about in the stream. So yeah, stands on this side, forces Ekion to go that way. Now we know he doesn't get the kill, unfortunately. But I think that's still a smart play. And we know the Theodore doesn't do much damage still. It's amp drone Theodore, probably for the runaway, I imagine. So Superior is going to get this top zone, and I would imagine he's going to get it by himself. I don't think anyone's going to come try and contest him with 7 kills. Throws down the double guillotines early, in case the Theodore is lurking around. The Theo's just being obnoxious a little bit. I do think these guillotines are a little bit early. I think the only threat that was nearby is Theodore, and he's not really a threat. Also, with 3 other people in the other zone, I don't think we'll see Superior leave right away. 52 seconds would be the AVC angle. I imagine we'll see him conserve timer a little bit rather than go right away. He might go once there's 1 kill, try and third party the 1v1. So yeah, we're going to see him hold off a bit. He also has traps, so can use those as a win condition. To be fair, Theo can't do much against SUA, especially as CC is so tailgated, he may as well be communicating in semaphore. Theodore can't really do much to every character, though. Traps are going to expire, unfortunately. And we're going to have a 1v1 for the final fight. We'll see if Superior leaves early to establish zone presence, get his traps down. He also doesn't have too much food, which could be the reason why he didn't look the third party. But I think he knows that he'll have timer advantage for this fight. Excess credit's going to be used to call in cameras. Going to leave a little bit early, quicker than the Ekion at least. Get the traps down. Ekion has the recon drones though. I don't know if he'll kill SUA quick enough. He's just going to use them to get rid of them. Good dodges though. Able to clear out the traps and space the SUA queues. Throws down the sting burst. Ekion should be able to see them. And we're gonna make sure to look for the hammer skill again. It should come out into the QE knockup. There's the Q, there's the E, there's the hammer skill. One thing I really want to note is that Superior starts his E if he knows he's going to hit the Q knockup before the Q even hits. And I think that's really important for chain CCing. Probably not going to look to let Ekion rest here. There's a Q. It does hit, and that should be a dead Echion. Yeah. And at this point, memory is basically a basic ability. Yeah, that's why we love cooldown reduction on SUA.
A drink to celebrate.
So really dominating first game, even without Wick buff. I really wanted to show y'all how to be selective with your fights. The fight with Leon was really good. Backing away and then re-engaging when the Bianca came in. The next two games I have are a little bit less dominating. I wanted to get an early dominating game for the first one, but these ones will be more of like realistic to maybe what you'll see in your games. You won't be coming into day 2 with 5 kills probably too often. Every bonk shaves off 1.5 seconds. One day SUA will lose her bonk if she misses an ability. I have hope. Game number 2, okay, we have the same build. It's going to be the same build for all 3 games. We talked about the spirit culling already. Make sure to take that if you are new to SUA. But not today. So got the lower spawn in Uptown, so we're going to see him run over to this top one again. This is the more favorable spawn for this site. It's closer to the teleporter, and if there's no one here, you should take it. Uses the E for the longest part of the walk. So the same as last time. And we're going to TP into hospital again. Spirit culling is pretty important. I just don't take it because I'm weird. Interesting. I mean, you definitely do build a lot of SP. We talked about it a little bit. We got the right side spawn, so instead of walking down to factory, we're gonna probably see him hyperloop into factory. And we'll see how many lighters he grabs for SP. I think this weapon needs 1 for heated rock. I imagine we'll see 2 for the SP, the purified water. Why take spirit culling when you can have more damage? Who needs utility? Yeah, double boiling water plus heated rock. Uptown is Sippy Central. I like that. In the ponds, we got the favorable spawn. Last game we were up here, so we ran all the way down. This time we got the spawn that we wanted, so this is a quick walk into temple. A little bit slower than the first game pacing, but there's no one here. And he does have better food and SP than the first game, I believe. I would imagine it's probably Quench. I don't think Dismantle would proc on SUA. I think she has too much HP, but I will check for you. It's Stopping Power and Quench. So really important thing I want to note here really quick is that because there's no one here and Superior does this like loop that we saw in the first game where he comes, checks these boxes, takes the boars, and then runs all the way around. Because there's no one here contesting the tree, I don't think we'll see him call in his rusty sword for the accessory. I imagine we'll just hold the credits and go straight for Horus with the tree. Tree is usually free in temple for you, so you just take it. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so no sword call in. We're just gonna go straight Horus. Superior, if you don't mind, who would you like have to look out for in temple tree typically? Like we saw Kathy contest last game, but is that like if you are fighting someone, is it usually a Kathy, or is there a specific matchup that you see a lot in temple tree? I ran Quench and Stopping Power because I hate taking forever on Wickeline and animals. That's fair. I used to run Quench a lot just because I wanted to heal from animals. I wish trees were this simple. Back in the pond, we're gonna hit the bears again and pull them so that passive hits both. Cancel the knockup with E. Efficient farming. Get in the habit of doing this when you're playing SUA. Or any character really, you want to chain your farms together if you can. And we'll see if he goes to the attack battle zone again. We're in the dock for the attack zone. And we're going to take the lower drone again, I imagine. This is a much narrower pathway. Same as the one in Alley, where it's going to be harder to dodge skills. This one's a lot more wide open. Still have some time, though. Laura, Kathy, Zahir, usually in NA sometimes. Some of the other people pull up if it's up for too long. Interesting. Yeah, now that I think about it, I think Zahir runs that School Avenue Pawn Temple build. Shoichi here. Might get a fight before the battle zone. Opts to just pull away. I think he wants a specific type of engage on the Shoichi. Doesn't think he wants to just be sprung up on him. Probably gonna look for the Q to hit first. Oh, there's the E. Good dodge on the Shoichi. Still holds the ult though. Shoichi playing it well, I think. Laura is pain. I imagine it's really hard to hit Laura with anything. There's the E. Ooh, that didn't stun. There's the stun there. Ooh, goes for the E backwards. Oh, okay. I really like that. Superior went for the E backwards on the Shoichi W. I think that was the right play. Shoichi gets the dagger skill oftentimes and springs back to the other side. But I definitely like that. Tried to go for the read. Unfortunately got punished for it, but I think sometimes you just have to try and make the play, right? Like sometimes you just gotta go for it. Respawns in hotel, it's empty zone. Good call, and it's a wolf zone, so it should be up during the day. There's the wolves. The E catching the bridge. Yeah, a little unfortunate. I mean, Fruit's a good player, but I really like going for the read there. Shoichi's a hard character to fight too. Double bandage. Imagine one of them's for Queen of Hearts, the other for who knows? Dragon Scale, maybe? There's the watch, so maybe timepiece. Beach, not the bears are not going to be up yet. Have a little bit of time. We saw Superior go that sniper skill snipe the bat. We saw Superior go for tree last time, but he already had Evening Star from the battle zone, so I imagine that we're going to see him go meteorite instead. I feel like when Shoichi ults, you just E away, then re-engage with his ult down. Maybe. I think the drone might have blocked it. We are in pond. This could be for tree or meteorite, I guess, with hospital closing. I imagine it's probably meteorite though, considering the way we're pathing. And we're probably looking for short rod right now. It's got the hammer in inventory. Free meteorite. Bianca doesn't want it. And this should be for Evening Star. I think we would have seen him TP to this zone anyway had he have Evening Star and probably would have contested tree. There's a fight going on over here at tree. Looks like the Emma got it. Oh, that's Emma for you. Yep. Anyways, Evening Star comes out here, found his short rod. How much time do I have to submit a VOD, by the way? Or replay? You have about a week. Lots of time. We'll say until like you can always submit during the stream next week, but if you wanted to get it in before the stream, probably Wednesday. Although no one's submitted yet, so I might hold off another week. Depends how many we get. Avenue for hunts. Might see a call in soon. Typically these wolves won't be here at nighttime, so don't get too used to that. We might see them go battle zone again instead of a mega because we did lose the first battle zone. Attack zone's right here in temple too. Yeah, no worries. It's just something that I'd like to do if people want. It doesn't have to be like a thing that people submit every week. Just trying to give back. Ren's up. I think Omega was spawning here in alley, right? Yeah, Omega's in alley, so maybe we'll go Omega instead of battle zone. Could just be hunting still though. While we have time. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're gonna go battle zone. So attack battle zone, we're gonna have a rematch with the Shoichi, it looks like. We have the Daniel, we have the Bianca. This really is the assassin battle zone. Shoichi, Daniel, and Bianca. And then we had Kathy earlier. Pretty much every assassin in this game. Oh, there's the Q, hammer skill. I really like the ult backwards again, trying to get the read. Gets the better of him this time though. Is that something you go for every time in the Shoichi matchup? The E backwards to try and get the knock up on the dagger? Or the W rather? So we're gonna see a fight with Daniel now. Imagine we're gonna hold the blind for the Daniel's empowered autos. Yeah, there's the dodge. The double blind too. It's full health basically still. Not much Daniel can do in this fight, I think. Yeah, there's the kill. W, R, and then W. 3 different blinds. Depends. Usually I dash into dagger to, if they don't take it, I can just disengage. That makes sense. I doubt a lot of Shoichis are probably expecting that too. Picks up 4 square from the battle zone. This will be for Tolarian. And I think we're gonna see another blood call in soon, which this time I imagine would be for Queen of Hearts, considering we don't have Kavana.
Check if there's any alcohol.
What are we looking for here? Now, we're not the most fed in the lobby. 2 kills is pretty good. 3 transitions pretty good. Doesn't look like we're gonna go to Wick though. Love the Emma matchup. Wick is spawning in Avenue. Yeah. Avenue. Looks like it's gonna be a free Wick for Felix. There's the slippers. So, setting up for glacial shoes.
I miss the old days.
See how we play the Bianca fight. If he takes it. I imagine it's another bait out the ult and then re-engage. Or Bianca will just run away. There's that too. There's the ult and the E. Doesn't get the knockup. I think the box intercepted it. There's the ult. That was odd. I think the box like clipped the ult a little bit. Takes the wolves, I believe. Yeah, the Felix did get the wick for free. I think I'm just too precious about hitting bookmarks with E. Possibly. Gotta do some limit testing. There's the blood golem. And all he needs is a monk's robe for Queen of Hearts. Doesn't have the credits for it yet, but possibly soon. Raw E into the Yuki. You're talking about this matchup being hella free earlier, right? I'm gonna say that we disrespected the Yuki a little bit there. I don't know about the raw engage into the miss. Yuki does have two ways of dodging with E behind and two-hand skill. Yuki is a character, correct? Hi Feline, how's it going? Gold box again. And the monk's robe call in for Queen of Hearts. Nightmare nails. That's probably gonna get disenchanted, yeah. Don't think that's better than Tolarian. Spent a lot of time in this zone, just kind of keeping control of the zone. Seeing who walks in, who doesn't. Bianca's back. Imagine we're trying to farm enough credits for tree for glacial shoes here. Yuki matchup is a skill matchup. Also, I think I just didn't see him. Oh, fair enough. All Yuki's just EQ the mash berry. The EU Yuki. How fortunate I am to have all the SUA players that I know in the chat today.
Check if there's any alcohol. Look for the fallen ones.
Unfortunate wolves aren't here. They are a daytime hunt, so not a bad idea to look for wolves here in archery. More times than not, they should be here. And I think we're gonna start making trap prep with what's in archery. This will be guillotine prep. It'll also help him save on credits. We'll only have to call in mouse traps and axes, I believe. We are the SUA community. All three of you. There's gotta be more.
One bad move and you might get caught.
Final zone alley. There's the mousetrap call in. And we're gonna have guillotines again. Not gonna have enough to call on tree for the glacial shoes, but it should be alright. Now there's still 7 people alive, so I think we're gonna see him head to alley early instead of clearing out the hunts again in hotel. There is a gold box here too. Yeah, he's just gonna head straight in the alley. When there's a lot of people left in the lobby, you want to try and get to final zone earlier rather than later, simply because you don't want to be one of the last people TPing in. You have less options to TP, more likely to TP onto somebody. And then you can also look for kills for people TPing onto you. Gonna start setting up the guillotines early too. Probably again just because the nature of how many people are left alive. People are gonna be running into these areas. This looks like kind of the same thing we saw with Ekion. I think he's trying to lead the Emma onto the guillotine. Yeah. A little telegraphed, no cues are being thrown out. Emma manages just to walk right around it. That guillotine was like 2 steps closer. She would have hit it, but once again, trying to coerce players into stepping on the guillotines. Smart play. And same as the drone, we're taking this bottom zone instead of the zone over here. It's much narrower, easier for SUA to hit skill shots, harder for opponents to dodge. Yeah, if Emma didn't have the hitbox of like a small infant. Also, notice how Superior is saving his E in to force the hat, and then saved his ult to when Emma took the hat so that he could follow her. Basically just staying on her at all points. If you waste both your E's, Emma's likely to just run away. I really think this Daniel matchup's cursed for SUA. There doesn't seem like much he could do in it. And is going to get Glacial Shoes and Persona to complete his build from that Emma as well. So we're going to have a Daniel and a Yuki fight over here. And really quickly, I want to mention, in my traps video, I talked about how if you have damage traps like C4, you want to put them behind you necessarily so that when you get engaged on, then they activate. And movement traps you want to put in front of you. I think these traps, maybe he's more worried about the Daniel, but these traps should probably be reversed. If not, you're going to see what Superior is going to do right here, and that's just going to step on the trap and backstep so that he doesn't get hit, and then probably aggro this one. And backstep as well, where if it's like a guillotine, he has to like walk up and auto it. So just a little note there. I talk about it in my traps guide. Make sure you're putting movement traps ahead of damage traps.
Failure is not an option.
There's the bait out again, so nullifies the two traps. Hits the stun, is gonna get it the knock up, and we're gonna see, oh, two hands into the trap. That's so unfortunate. Turns on the Daniel. Really good patience not to just floor it at the Yuki. Holding for the right moment. Oh. Yuki gets the kill on the Daniel, and Superior gets the kill on the Yuki, able to kill him before the heal comes back in. I think that's really good patience not to chase after the Daniel there and just turn on to the, or not to chase after the Yuki, sorry, and just turn on to the Daniel. Really smart move there. And we'll have a 1v1 with Felix for the final zone. It's late game SUA with you, for you, 40% CDR. I know SUA could cut, but here we are. I need Rabbit House to scream cut.
Time to show off your
I think in the Felix matchup, the blind's definitely more important than the spell shield. You don't really have too much to spell shield. I want to say you're probably going to look to see the blind come out. Is the previous rank 1 player on Felix? Yeah, that's Eclipsed. I think you're going to see the blind come out when Felix has no abilities up. Otherwise, you can kind of just like time it out using spells instead. There's the blind again. After all the Qs. Really good play from Superior again. Yeah, shield doesn't really do too much in the Felix 1v1. So that's like a more realistic game probably than coming out of day 2 with 6 kills. I do have one more game, and it's even like more of a like what you might see in your rank setting. Felix can't dodge. Yeah, it's gonna be like a dodge war in that 1v1. This will be the last game we look at. Once again, same build. Don't need to worry about different build code. And we're gonna get the top spawn in Uptown. The spawn's also pretty good. Don't need to run anywhere. Make sure you do run to this car though, instead of running to these boxes first while you have the speed, and then you can just loot in a line. Once again, using your E on the longest part. And making sure you craft when your mobility spell is down. Kind of the middle area for hospital that we TP'd into. But because this distribution kind of follows to the right, I imagine we're going to see him path up towards the Hyperloop instead of down in the factory. Also glad you're feeling better. Thank you. Yeah, I had a rough couple days over the weekend, unfortunately. I've got some health issues. I don't really talk about it too much, but they act up once in a while. They're kind of like permanent health issues. So a little unfortunate, kind of delayed my plans, but we're back. This has been pretty informative so far. Thanks for this. No problem. I'll try my best. Early game's gonna be more of the same. See if we have any fights at tree again this time. Glad you're okay. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. Once again, got the good spawn in temple. We'll see if he makes the same play where he doesn't call in his rusty sword to see if temple tree is free first and can go straight to horse. Gonna serve some credits. I'm finally done with all my treatment. Just have to lose weight and treat my BP now. So I feel for you. Good luck, Jinx. It's a tough battle, but you're strong and I believe you can do it. Will I see you in rank tonight? Probably. Hopefully we actually pop. I didn't play last night because I wasn't feeling great, but I'm planning to play tonight at the very least. I'd like to get more than 2 pops in a week. I feel like I haven't played since last Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday was patch day. I haven't played since last Tuesday, I think. If it's going, though, you'll definitely see me. Thank you, Superior. Appreciate that. Same loop. No one in temple, so no Colin. Martina being able to use TP while her dash is insane to me. Yeah, because of the CC immunity now, so she can't get pulled back to her E when she's on the hyperloop. So it just disappears. And we're gonna see straight Horus. I imagine a lot of these characters are probably at some tree. Yeah, they're all at some tree. That's wild. Nah, she can still get pulled back? I thought it was CC immune, it didn't count. So straight into Horus again. This time we're not pathing down into ponds. We're gonna head for Avenue TP, it looks like.
Check if there's any
Bears aren't up, so straight to Hyperloop. Wonder why we didn't go pond this time. TP's in the school. Wonder if that's for the closer like spawn to this meteorite. I'm gonna, well, Superior's here. He might be able to clarify for me why he went for meteorite here. This could just be an early season limit test. See if he can make it from tree to meteorite very consistently. This also could just be he thought someone might have been in ponds that he didn't want to fight, or someone had already taken the bears in ponds. Could just be because it was next to the attack battle zone. If it's up, you go to it. Is that specifically for alley, or is that just if the meteorite's still up after you take tree? And how often does that happen? I'm curious. I feel like meteorites don't really last too long comparatively to tree. Clearing out the hunts of the attack battle zone again. Imagine we'll see all the assassins regroup into the zone. Meteor's too good with Horus. You can pound anyone into the dirt. Yeah, fair enough. 2 transitions coming out of day 1 is pretty nice. Definitely the strongest person on the island. Presumably.
one bad move.
Well, someone else got 2 transitions. We'll see Kathy, Aya, and Nathapon here. All kind of convened into the other drone. Both of these drones are kind of open. I imagine this like is a little bit more straighter than this one to fight in. That's probably why we're up here. I wouldn't call it tight per se. Unless you can like pinch someone into this part. 3 hits of the drone, and then we're gonna head over to the other side, try and get the third party. Kathy probably used everything here, so not gonna be much of a fight. Yeah, Kathy doesn't have anything here. A little unfortunate. Nathan Pond screams. I think you see it ping. Interesting. If it's still up after I'm done doing like my farm temple pawn, usually I read the lobby. If like Frankie is in it, I don't look for temple farm, so thought I was up, but I should realize. Yeah, we talked about a few videos ago, or a few streams ago, we talked about Frankie's Avenue Temple archery farm rotation. Horus and Evening Star, what pain. I think most people just hate Nathapon in general. Gonna take up the wolves here, clearing out the zone. It's daytime. Calls in a tree, or gets the tree from the battle zone reward. So I think we'll see Glacial Shoes, and then we'll probably see him go Meteorite. Can't imagine that another tree will be useful. Meteorite is in school too, so it's close by. This is just more hunt rotations. It's still daytime, so these wolves just spawned. Weren't taken right off spawn, so splits them with the Felix. There's the Glacial Ice. That's probably for Glacial Shoes. Pick up slippers in school. Really snowballing the transitions here. If he gets this Meteorite, we'll have 4 rare resources on day 2. That's typically the most you can get. If he really wanted to call in something, he could have 5. I don't think it's necessary. Might as well just hold credits for blood. Especially when no one's really going to want to fight you with 4 transitions. And we did win the battle zone, so it's likely that we'll path to get these hunts and then work our way over to Omega. What zones do we have open currently? Doc probably has hunts up right now. There's 2 people in Chapel, but I imagine Chapel hunts would probably be up right now. Factory's probably taken, Hospital's probably taken. Pond hunts are probably up, and Temple hunts are probably up. I imagine we'll see Superior go to one of those zones. We're also working on prep for Tellurian and Monk's Robe for Queen of Hearts. TP's in the chapel. There's gonna be a few hunts left, not too many. Console's already taken. Wonder if that would have been a Force Core call-in. Kind of just to get the timepiece out of the way now before Omega. Few hunts, TP's out. Omega is here in Pond. I think the only person he has to be careful of is the Felix, maybe the Bianca. Bianca's only on 2 transitions. Fiora's only on 2 transitions. Felix is on 4, so definitely have to be careful of Felix. I thought it was Rio that made me drop Marcus. Yeah, I remember you guys telling me that you were having a little bit of problems getting kited, and Marcus didn't really have the tools to deal with it. So Felix is here. This would be a tough fight, I imagine. It's chunked out a lot. Felix gonna commit the ult? Isn't gonna commit the ult, so backs away. I don't think we'll see a re-engage. That Felix definitely is a little too strong. Fiora is a much easier option. Gets the stun. There's the knock-up. Hammer skill comes out. There's the ult to re-engage. Q doesn't get the stun. If that hit, might have been able to chase. Still in a good spot though. It's daytime, so the wolves will be here in hospital. Suggestions on the Adri matchup. Usually you can just dash into Adri and spell shield their CC. We love the floored at the enemy strategy. I missed the whole Fiora fight. I would love to go back for you. However, it is the replay will break. The VODs do stay up, so feel free to head back into the stream. If it helps, I can tell you that we're an hour and 14 minutes in for the timestamp. Yeah, it wasn't a very competitive fight though. There's the blood. We're gonna see Queen of Hearts with that. Still holding on to this meteorite.
Check if there's any alcohol.
TP's in the forest. I imagine this is for a Wick TP. It hasn't spawned yet, but we can see what Cemetery and Avenue both being closed. This is a pretty good infer that Wick's gonna spawn in forest. There it is. 1 minute till Wick arrive is in forest. With Felix being as strong as he is, and there being a lot of people here in forest, I imagine we'll see Superior kind of shadow Wick. I don't think he'll be able to take it off spawn. I think that's kind of a suicide into the Felix. Esther back on Aiden. Yeah. Aiden got buffed in the last patch, I think. I don't know how strong of a buff it is because I haven't played much recently, but we did see an Aiden buff. And I think 2H got changed a little bit. There's the credits for Queen of Hearts. I imagine at this point, this meteorite's just being held to see if Wick drops a tree, can make 4 score out of it. If not, it'll probably be turned into water. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it feels like the only upgrade for Arm Piece is Tellurian. If you value the Vigor. I would imagine if you had Cabana and Glacials, you probably still wouldn't go Prominence. You'd just change Glacials into Taproots. And there's the Shadow of Wick. Superior has cams, so we can see that the Felix and the Martina are fighting. Felix is kind of the only run that he's scared of, so you can kind of send it on the Wick here. Is gonna pull away with the Aiden coming. Aiden might be able to burn this in time. It's gonna blink. There's the blink. Superior gets it. Notice how he's not suiciding to get the items and trying to run away. Waits until it's safe, then picks up the items. Buff is much more important. Once you get that secured, pick up the items. Really smart play. What does this blood go into? It's gonna catch back up to the Aiden. Double dashes. Has the Wick buff to kind of neutralize the mastery difference. Aiden kind of playing it as well as he can. Parries the ult. See if Superior can chase him down. Oh, he's gonna run into Bianca though. There's the E. Double dash in. Arcana spell might be able to slow Superior. Bianca might be able to pick this up. There's the ult. Oh, misses the Q. Oh. Always gotta have a little luck on your side, right? I think he definitely should have died there if Bianca hit that Q. It's gonna be forced in the red though with the timer coming down. Animals getting in the way of her casual Moida. Yeah, I think we'll see Opera Mask. I imagine that's part of the play. Yeah, there's Opera Mask. Martina sees Superior on cams. Holy Martina damage. Unfortunately, she gets pulled back, but geez, that was a lot of damage from Martina. I don't know how much Martina heals, but I think it's really easy to cancel Coffin with SUA. I imagine you probably don't need too much heal cut for the Bianca matchup. Broadcast Martina can. That was a ton of damage. Yeah, no tree off Wick, so we see the water come out with the meteorite. Tears of Selene. And once again, keeping Sports Watch for the Vigor. Imagine while we're in Chapel, we'll start to see some rusty swords. This is probably the guillotine prep start. We're going to probably see Superior get as much of the prep as he can before starting to call in with credits, considering he only has 7. Yeah, she has a little icon, and on her, like, bar here, she's got the... I can't zoom into it, but she's got the broadcast right here.
One bad move and you might get caught.
There's the rusty sword. So we got one. I feel like I could never find them in Chapel. And we're going to start picking up hatchets as well, so they'll be for guillotine. Once again, still have to call in mouse traps, but getting a lot of the hard components out of the way. Mouse traps and bamboo with the snare traps. If we can't give more trap prep to Temple, it'll be a nightmare. Trying to do anything in that zone. Pawn's already bad enough. Can't put them next to each other. Can't 2-zone guillotines out of Pawn Temple. That'd be horrible. Final Zone Hospital? Does that look like what we're getting? Yeah, Final Zone Hospital. 4 people alive. There's very little hunts here, so we're just going to hold the entrance. Probably try and force people to TP in if they're in factory. Definitely cautious about that Martinez damage. I think that probably jump scared a bit. And we're probably going to get the Pendulum Maxes come out soon once we have the credits from night turning to day. I wanted to main her at first, but she seemed, for me, complicated. Getting your broadcast forms, like the toughest part of her, I'd say. You have to show up with objectives and not die. It used to be pretty free on release. People didn't really value Martina as a character, so you could just show up to objectives. Double dash away, so we're going to disengage. Now people are less reluctant to let Martina get stacks, so they will try to kill you on a objective. It's going to be a third party on Bianca. Yeah, really easy fight there. And then the Martina fight. I have a 1v1 with Martina. Martina currently doesn't have ult, I imagine. But we are going to get the Bianca items. Morello in for Horus. And we're going to get the other part of the guillotine. Are you to avoid CC from the rewind? Yeah. Super good cancel. Having knee pads is interesting, I imagine. This Martina does so much damage, dude. Oh, commits the ult. I don't think that's going to get her. Yeah. A little early on the R. Gonna put a trap down to block the chase in case we can heal. Or block the Martinez trace, rather.
This really is the last one.
Oh, hits the wall. Unfortunate. Martinez is kind of not great in the melee range fight. Unfortunate. Gets hit by everything, kind of just dies.
You didn't have to call me if
Meepaz Martinez is the standard, actually. Yeah, I believe it's the standard. I just think it's like probably odd to fight, right? Like you hit your QE and then she just cleanses. I want to let it be known that Superior only had one battle zone kill coming into the safe zone of this game. I think it's really important to keep your mastery up and make sure that you're still getting your transitions, not forcing bad fights so that you don't have to take them. Of course, a little luck helps as well, as we saw with the Bianca. Definitely should have died there probably, but we take those. We also saw the duality of Superior. We saw him come out the first game with like 6 kills on day 2. And then we saw like a more tame, controlled version with 1 kill going into day 5. Shows that you can play multiple styles in Eternal Return. Sometimes you just have to let the play develop. Sometimes you gotta know when to take over games. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to do a Q&A like I normally do after the streams, or after the games rather. I do have to go. I have some stuff to do today, but I appreciate all you guys coming out, and make sure to submit your replays for free coaching. The forum is over on my community tab, and it'll be episode 2. I'll post again about it later in the week. You'll have roughly a week to get them in though. Yeah, I'll take care of myself. It kind of just sprung up on me. I didn't really do anything to like aggravate my health. It kind of just like came up out of nowhere. I appreciate all you guys coming out. What question do you have, Jenks? I'll take your one question before I head out. Or unless that was your question. This replay system is so broken, dude. Jesus Christ. Oh, that was it? Okay. Yeah, anyways, I appreciate you guys all for coming out. Queue rank tonight. You'll probably see me a bit later. I will probably queue up in a couple hours. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed watching Superior. Leave a comment once this becomes a video to let me know who that you want to see next. We've done Frankie, we've done Striker, and now we've done Superior. I appreciate you, Superior, for coming out, providing some insight. It's really helpful. Hope you all have a good day, and I will see you later this week for whatever video I'm working on.